that they were actually an 8th seed playing in a title game. And for Kansas to come back the way they did, so very fast in the second half, the way they turned them over, the way they got up and down the floor. And all of a sudden, it became a really close, really good game. And then the athleticism and the power in particular of McCormick down low took over. It was too much for Carolina.
Yep, McCormick was great. And he was great in the previous game, too, against Villanova. Like, it was the defense. They just clamped up. They just absolutely clamped up. And one of my favorite things is they asked Bill Self what his halftime speech was like. He said, just keep doing what you're doing. Like, Coach, we're down 15. What do you mean keep doing what we're doing? But look at those numbers in the second half.
I want to shout the big fella on Bacot. 15 and 15 out there wearing number 5 on a hurt ankle. He was giving it all he had. He was limping the entire game. And then he re-aggravated. I want to make sure I shout him out. But again, like you said, Bill Self has owned the Big 12. And now when you do that, you put yourself in position to have a number 1 seed. When you take care of business as a number 1 seed, you can find yourself in the Final Four. Like, they follow all of the not taking the regular season for granted rules in order to put themselves in position to be champions. And so Kansas gets a chance to celebrate, and I appreciate it watching a great game.
They do, and Remy Martin is great guard play. And then sometimes you're watching the tournament and you fall in love with the underdogs and you fall in love with the stories, but sometimes it's a number 1 seed that just goes all the way through.
And I can't front. I was watching the Final Four thinking there will never be another one without a Jalen participating.
No.
Wilson was balling for Kansas, right? You talk about Remy Martin as well, and Baji, the Final Four MVP, most outstanding player. And again, Bill Self nurturing this roster the entire season. Kansas was the better team. They performed as such in the second half. But again, I give Carolina credit for the way they thumped them, in particular in the first half. They had a 16-0 run that was major.
So something we need to discuss, Jalen, is when you look back at this tournament, we're going to talk about our favorite memories in a second, but this tournament to me is going to be the Duke UNC game. It's not going to be the Kansas UNC game. Like, to me, it's almost like the Tar Heels won the tournament by getting to the finals, not winning the finals.
Well, you know, for me, Carolina's a winner because they beat Duke twice. You know what I'm saying? To be honest, I can't run. So that was their championship as far as I'm concerned. But for me, tournament moments, I mean, seeing people get their brackets busted the first weekend, that happened again. And for myself to see Juwan Howard and the Michigan Wolverines make it to the Sweet 16 and to be there to support them, I was happy to see C-Webb and Ray at a game. It was great to spend time with Jimmy and Ray at the game and spend time with Juwan and Janine, his wife, and be a part of the Michigan family. And so we didn't take care of business the way I felt like we should have.
But you did, though.
No, man, we missed too many layups and free throws.
I was rooting and betting for Michigan. And in order to beat Villanova, you have to play at least like a B+ game. And I felt like Michigan played their C game in the Sweet 16.
But it was good to see the Maize and Blue rally around the squad. And I believe Hunter Dickinson gave us a cryptic tweet that he's returning. Stay tuned.
I don't know how many NBA scouts are rushing to draft Hunter Dickinson. I don't know if his game translates the same way some of those high-flying wings does, but we will see. I would love to see him back in the Maize and Blue. And my memory of the tournament is going to be St. Pete's. You know what I mean? And again, this is my East Coast bias. This is my New York City bias.
They balled though, 15 seed.
Yeah, man, to beat Kentucky the way that they did. Like, they took down a lot of big-name teams. Shaheem Holloway will always be remembered for his tournament run, and that, for me, is my favorite story from the tournament.
And also, he then went back and got the Seton Hall job where he once played, so that was a story came full circle.
Yep, and he earned it. And those are my memories of the tournament. I think this tournament will ultimately be remembered for that Duke-UNC game. It was so good. And the way that finished, the back and forth between those two blue bloods, Coach K's last year, that will be like the forever memory of this tournament.
I ain't mad at that.
Jalen.
What up, though?
I'm not going to act like I'm a huge professional golf fan, right? Like, I'm not going to act like I watch every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday round and know all the top players.
Phil going to be there? Oh, no, he ain't going to be there.
However, Mr. Woods had a phenomenal practice round, and that's a full crowd on a Monday at Augusta. It looks like he is going to play. Now, I'm not going to act like I watch a lot of professional golf, but I will be watching when Tiger's involved.
We can't take for granted that Tiger Woods is not only one of the greatest golfers of all time, but one of the most accomplished athletes ever.
Yes.
And
say it again. Just say it again.
One of the most accomplished athletes ever. And he plays a sport that he can still perform another 10 or 15 years.
Oh, yeah.
This isn't like basketball or football where, Tom Brady breaks a glass ceiling in his 40s. Like, he can continue to do this. And for me, it's remarkable to see him just in this position because I saw pictures of the car after the accident. And this man is lucky to be alive.
Well, his ankle was pulverized.
Jeez.
Like his ankle was absolutely just pulverized. And the idea that he's back on 2 feet, walking the course, playing at a championship level is absolutely wild. And I don't think there's a single soul that will be watching this tournament not rooting for Tiger Woods.
I agree. We'll be watching it because we dark those days for that exact same reason. For that exact same reason. So you don't get the chance to watch us, we're all going to be watching Tiger right here on this network.
And on this network, they will have a Tiger cam. ESPN Plus does a really good job of that.
Should.
Like, you know what? We're going to show everybody else, but if you want Tiger, you can get Tiger.
You know what I need? I need Michael Collins. Where is he?
Oh, he's around.
Okay, good. That's my guy.
America's caddy's always around. Well, I'll be rooting for Tiger Woods just like the rest of the nation and the world, and I am so excited to see him come back. It's a great story. However, we have some very important news that matters. We do. We've been doing this show for 10 years, and we agree a lot, we disagree a lot, and one of the things that we'll never agree upon is our top 5 rappers alive list, and everyone always debates this. However, the Boston Celtics weighed in and gave their best rapper alive takes, and here is what the C's had to say.
Who's the best rapper alive? Jay-Z.
Alive? I'm a J. Cole fan, so North Carolina.
Best rapper of all time, Jay-Z.
In my opinion, I gotta give it to Kodak, but I got to. My favorite rapper is Eminem.
Why the white guy gotta say Eminem? Luke Cornett, you're my guy. Westchester Nick legend, but why he gotta say Eminem?
I mean, Time Lord said Kodak
Black?
I mean, that's...
That is the most baffling choice I've heard.
The actual answer to this question,
I like Kodak, but best alive?
It's Sean Carter.
I think that's fair. It's hard to argue with that one.
Okay.
I mean, there's a few names you can put out that is hard to argue, but Sean Carter is hard to argue.
Okay.
And the two of them had Sean Carter.
Throw up the rock.
J. Cole ain't it either.
He's in the conversation.
No, he's
in the
not.
conversation.
No, he's not. You got to get 20, 30 minutes into the conversation before J. Cole comes up.
No, I agree. I disagree.
In my opinion.
No.
We can both agree about this.
Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole, they occupy a whole new space for me.
We can both agree on this. It's not Kodak Black. I like Kodak Black. He has an appeal, but best rapper alive is not Kodak Black.
Did Kodak just give Lamar a watch? I believe.
Jalen, you know I don't like follow-up questions.
I believe I just saw that.
No, I don't like follow-up questions.
Very expensive one, too.
Luke Cornett, I see you, though. You know, Luke Cornett, there's something about you I like.
Luke Cornett, your picture might be up here tomorrow. You know that? You know what I'm saying? And by the way,
Jalen and Jacoby behind the scenes, and one time Jalen was looking at my background, and he was like, I think you should take all the black people off your background. And just have white people there. This show's the best. When we come back, we have some interesting news as the races tighten in the Eastern and the Western Conference. It's getting down to the wire. Podcast. We do exclusive podcast content every single day for Jalen and Jacoby. Welcome back to Jalen and Jacoby, brought to you by Chase, coming to you from the Seaport in New York City. Jalen.
What up, though?
Steve Nash has notified us that Ben Simmons will not play for the rest of the regular season, leaving his play-in availability in doubt and his playoff availability in doubt. Do you expect to see him play for the Brooklyn Nets this season?
I don't. And hindsight can always be 20/20, but I believe this should have been the course of action by the Nets. Now it's confirmed. They should have held on to James Harden to allow him to play with Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant at least one season in the playoffs.
Well, you forget, though, what James Harden was playing like towards the end of his run in Brooklyn. Remember that Sacramento game? He did what he did in Houston in Brooklyn.
James Harden was quitting on the team.
Yes.
However, that was because he knew trade deadline was coming and he was forcing their hand. Once the trade deadline passes, it's time to perform. And I truly believe as a collective, KD just said it. The season got derailed when his knee got injured. They were the number one seed when he was healthy, regardless of what was happening with James.
And Kyrie.
And so for me, I felt if you're going to do a Ben Simmons move, you do it in the offseason where you can get him into your building. You can nurture his injury. You can figure out what's going on with his mental health. He has a lawsuit now going against the league. I just felt like that deal would be best done in the offseason. It would be a win for them to complete this year and still do the deal in the offseason. That's what I always felt. So when it happened during the season, the first thing I was thinking is the Nets just punted on their chance to win the championship.
If the thing is, when I watch this Nets team, now that they have Curry and Drummond, they're missing a player exactly like Ben Simmons. They need his defense, they need him in transition, and they need someone that Kyrie and KD can just give easy buckets to. And that's exactly what Ben Simmons brings to the table. That's why it's disappointing to me, because I always feel like the Nets, if healthy, has been something that I've been saying for 4 years now.
I agree, Jacoby, but here's the thing. If you wait till the offseason to do that move, you still give that big three one chance to play in the playoff together and take a home run swing. I've been telling everybody this all season. The Nets are going to need another performer in order to win the East. There were people that felt they could win the East as Kyrie is a part-time player and James Harden out. And then with Ben Simmons out, they could probably win since Kyrie's a full-time player now. No. This team ain't winning the East with just those two. They're going to need that third performer. And so it's going to be interesting to see how this situation plays out going forward. But I hope he gets healthy.
I hope he does get healthy, wishing him the absolute best. And there's a chance the Nets don't even make the playoffs. That's very real reality, because as you look at the end of the season, we have 3 games left, or about 4 games left for most teams. And look at that 2, 3, 4 spot in the Eastern Conference, the Celtics, the Bucks, and the Sixers. We're no longer talking about trying to avoid the Nets, because the Nets aren't as scary as they used to be. But how do you think this will shake out?
Well, there are a couple of things. When you look at that 3 and 4, that could be the MVP race as well. So it's a couple of things that's happening. And for the Celtics, I applaud the fact that they put themselves in that conversation when just earlier this year, people were talking about if Ime Udoka had what it takes to lead this team, and stupidly talking about breaking up Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Al Horford has given them quality minutes this year. And Williams off the bench has been a really good three-point shooter. But again, Embiid's dominance has been consistent all year. That's why he's in the MVP conversation. James Harden, I've been telling you this off wax. I'll just tell you this on wax. He's a declining player. I'm not saying he's not still an all-star. I'm saying he's not an MVP level player anymore. He used to be an MVP level player in Houston. He is not that player. And when he gets to the paint, he misses those layups that he used to always make, Jacoby. He's missed more basically than every player that qualifies in the league. And here's another thing. He's not a leaper. Just like Luka isn't a leaper. But when Luka gets a dunk, there's a reason why he's laughing. He's like, y'all ain't in on the joke. You know what I'm saying? Y'all let me get to the hoop.
It's like when Steph Curry gets a dunk.
And I'm thinking, like, have we seen the end of James Harden driving around people and actually dunking?
Yes, we have.
On people.
That is not happening anymore.
You see what I'm saying? That explosion and that ability to finish at the rim has changed the dynamics of his game. And here's another thing, the geometry of the floor. Usually he has a guy on the baseline in the dunker spot. So now when you turn that corner, if the big helps you lob to him, or you have an easy layup, or you have a chance at an uncontested layup. Well, Joel Embiid is out on the floor.
And he's not a lob catcher, dunker type either.
Correct. And so now when he turns the corner, you got more hands digging in there at the ball.
Well, Jalen, when you look at big picture, I used to say there were 5 teams that could win the Eastern Conference. I'd take that 5 down to 2. I used to say it was
Bucks and the Heat.
Celtics, Heat, Bucks, Sixers, Nets. Nets, no. Sixers, no. Celtics without Time Lord, no.
Agreed.
It is down to the Heat and the Bucks, and I have the Bucks coming out of the Eastern Conference.
It's hard to dismiss that Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton, Giannis Antetokounmpo, they're not only very reliable as champions, but how they've continued to accentuate their roster. Like, I like that they're now getting Lopez back. You add Serge Ibaka. Bobby Portis is still a knockdown three-point shooter. So that's a lot of size, a lot of height, many fouls. And let me just talk about something else. The improvement of Giannis's game.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? He's making free throws now. He's making mid-range shots now.
He gets more assists than you think, too.
He's making threes now. So his improvement alone gives me the opportunity to agree with you and say, how could they not be the favorite?
I have them coming out of the East, and I have them with the Heat in the Eastern Conference Finals, depending on how the seeding works out. Now, Jalen, I want to talk about the Western Conference Finals.
Okay.
Because there's something really important happening with the 3 and the 4 seed in the Western Conference, because the Suns are far and away favorites. They're going to come out of the first round, so they're going to take on the 4 seed in the second round. And if you are the Warriors and the Mavericks, you're trying to avoid that. So getting from that 4 to 3 is very important for the Mavericks, if you're the Mavericks.
One word answer for you, Coach of the Year, Monty or Taylor?
Monty.
Tough, right?
They're just the best team. Like, look at how many wins they have. But look at how many wins they have.
I know, they ran away with it.
Look at how many wins, the sheer winning that they have. They lost Chris Paul for a long time and didn't lose a beat. I mean, the Suns are far and away the favorite, but I have the Mavs beating the Grizzlies if they can get that 3 seed.
You keep going
I'm saying
there.
it again and again and
Really?
again.
Wow.
Again and again and again.
Why are you so confident?
Because I have been watching this Mavericks team, and their defense is Luka
J.K.
and
got 'em
defense.
playing D.
2 things, Luka and defense. So that 3-4 seed is going to be very important, because I would not pick the Warriors or the Mavericks to beat the Suns in a 7-game series, but I would pick the Mavs to beat the Grizzlies in a 7-game series.
And also, like, let's not underestimate that we're talking about the Warriors in the same conversation as the Mavs, young superstar Luka, and Memphis, young superstar Ja. And they still had the Splash Brothers and Draymond Green on their roster. And Kuminga's an improving young player, and Jordan Poole is just a bucket. And so, like, I know right now it's easy to dismiss what you think the Golden State Warriors might be, but I'm still standing on the table. Phoenix Suns, Golden State Warriors, Western Conference Final.
Wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. Well, we can argue about this for the next month and a half, and I look forward to it. And
Yeah, you're right.
we will
Maybe
also
Memphis.
be arguing about the MVP. Never in my life has the MVP race been this close, and we will discuss that right after this. You are watching. Welcome back to Jalen Jacoby. Jalen Rose, Brittany Griner still detained in Russia.
Way too long, 47 days she's been detained, and we're just going to send prayers and well wishes to her and her family and seeking a safe return home to the United States.
Jalen, you have a vote in the MVP. Never in my life has the MVP still been up for debate this late in the season. Who needs a bigger game tonight, Giannis, Jokic, or Embiid?
Embiid, he was in pole position to win MVP. They
Yep.
added James Harden. Age moments. The Joker has been truly dominant the entire season. And he and Giannis' numbers mirror each other so very much. You got to look at that Eastern Conference race. And if the Bucks have a better record and Giannis has the edge in a couple of number statistical categories, then he has to be the MVP in my mind.
Who are you going to vote for right now if you had to vote right now?
Right now,
You look stressed out. I can see you looking around the room.
the Joker.
The Joker would be
If I had to
the
vote
MVP
at
right
this
now.
second, it would be the Joker.
He would probably be mine as well.
Numbers
But
is just crazy.
Giannis, if Giannis puts up a couple of those 40-point games, I could see him
That's what I'm saying.
getting ahead. It is such an exciting season coming down to
Yes,
the wire.
it is.
We are always here, ESPN2 at 4 o'clock.